What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Belinda Carlisle, returning to the 1987 album Heaven on Earth. Thank you again to Phil, as well as to others who've been commenting as we started to go through this album. And the next track is Should I Let You In, which I did a reaction to an Alanis Morissette tune earlier called Uninvited, which, going into it, I would have expected the sentiment to be a bit more straight away in relation to the title, but it seemed by the end that there was an ambiguity to her conviction and the idea that, like, well, look, I'm not saying you're unworthy, but I'm deliberating, this is exciting, but I don't think you quite have the right perspective here. So in the end, it felt like she was asking more or less, should I let you in? So I'm sure there's no relation, but either way, as I saw the title to this track, I immediately thought of a reaction I did earlier in this batch. But yeah, she sounds like she's asking herself. Now, it's addressed to the other person, but the person who's going to have to answer the question is the speaker, not the person being addressed. So I suppose she could be ascertaining the opinion of the other person, but if it's even a question in the first place, then my expectation would be that the other person is indeed interested in coming in, and I'm assuming that's not just to a physical residence or a party, but to her life, to her emotional intimacy, or to a relationship more formally. So in that regard, I wonder the thought process in play, I wonder what factors might be considered, and I wonder if by the end of the tune, Belinda's narrator will come to a conclusion, or if it'll still be up in the air. Let's see what I can pick up on a first listen, and Luca, you are very inconveniently placed right behind me. But yes, this is Belinda Carlisle. The track is Should I Let You In, and it's from her 1987 album Heaven on Earth.
Should I let you in, into my house with its concrete walls? Should I let you in, into my room with its curtains drawn? I wanna open up and let you walk right through my door. Can you tell me is it worth my risk anymore? Should I let you in? 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 Should I let you in, into my far from perfect place? Should I let you see where I keep my secrets safe? I wanna open up, but I've been hurt this way before. Can you tell me, is it worth the risk anymore? Should I let you in?
Oh, the rasp.
Should I let you in? Oh baby, won't you tell me now? Should I let you in?
another minute or two of that. That was an absolute jam. So, okay, lyrically, it sounds like it's still undecided, and I do think it's functioning on not just 2 levels, but like 3 levels. She's making reference to coming inside her house, looking through her window at the other person, coming inside the concrete walls, coming inside her bedroom with curtains drawn, showing him her safe. And all those are like physical, visual references, but I think they also function emotionally. The idea of letting someone in beyond the walls, your defenses, the structures that can protect you and keep people who are more at a distance at a literal physical distance, but also an emotional one. And looking through a window, there's also that idea that you can see each other, you're in physical proximity, but there's still a barrier, however transparent it might be. And so looking at him through the window, deciding to let him through the door, let him into a room, which is an even more inner sanctum and even more personal space, and then her safe, the real like core of her heart and her emotions, and like in a visual sense, a small part of her room, which is already pretty intimate, and where you might keep your most valuable items, and thus, the most vulnerable but also sensitive part of your heart. Now, I think all of it works also in a more physical intimacy manner. The idea of letting someone inside, letting them inside your room with curtains drawn, clearly a reference to a situation in which you might make love to someone, and then letting them inside your safe, again, the most vulnerable and sensitive part of you. Again, I think that works on 3 different levels, from conceptual / emotional to visual physical, and then to metaphorical, physically intimate conceptual layer as well. So again, I think it's a very cleverly written set of lines. I don't think we get a definitive conclusion. I think she's still weighing the risks, and indeed she even says like maybe part of her wariness, part of why it's still a question, is because she's been hurt this way before. She's let someone inside. She's let someone in her room and seen what's inside her safe and been worse off because of it. She's been burned by this, and so it's a question of risk reward. It can be the most valuable reward, but by that same token, in that same breath, if you let someone in and they decide to steal those valuables and leave, or they decide to mistreat you inside what otherwise would give you protection, then of course it hasn't been worth it, or at the very least it's not so simple as it's just a good thing. So again, I think a very cleverly written set of lyrics. I love her vocals, which seem like they're layered. I wondered if those backing vocals were her multiple times, so it sounds like this choral harmony supporting her, but maybe it's just also her voice. Either way, the lead vocal, the primary vocal, she lets it burn hot. She's got rasp at some points. It's almost like there's a couple moments where she's going outside the melodic lines, which speak to an emotional intensity and maybe uncertainty, the idea of being worried to the point where you're a bit off your game, and there's great excitement but also great danger. There's a precarious nature to the situation. So I feel like her vocals conveyed all that, and as I said, I enjoyed the layered vocals and the backing vocals, which may or may not be her, but yeah, just a really rocking tune. The guitar, my goodness, the guitar really jamming and rocking away. I like the way the beat was like, at parts it was straight away and energetic, but then it would break down and it would get sort of every other, sort of syncopated, kind of like you're in this limbo where you're not sure which way it's going to go, but you still feel that excitement and the possibility of what could be in a good sense, so then it would drive almost like a heartbeat. So I feel like there's a lot going on in this tune. Absolutely loved it. Looking forward to more. I do note, again, only a few songs in, this album does seem like it's a step up beyond Belinda. I feel like this is pushing some different sonic directions. She's pushing her vocals, and again, not knowing how many of these songs she may be writing or at least have some influence on the lyrics. Regardless, I feel like the lyrics have taken a step up too. So absolutely enjoying this. Let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.